Hey YouTube, Kira Twig here, bringing you all an update to my Lunalight Yugioh deck profile for January 2025. Wanted to update the Lunalight deck since we've gotten Lunalight Tiger back at full power for the Yu-Gi-Oh TCG. Wanted to update the Fusion deck for Lunalights, being a deck that focuses on getting out your different Lunalight monsters and then being able to use the many different Lunalight fusions to be able to battle your opponent's monsters with different card effects and different protections for the type of Lunalight monster you get out. There are a good variety of decks out there that focus more on the Xyz, Wing Beasts, mixed aspect of the Lunalight deck, but I wanted to go for the pure fusion build because that's really at its core what the Lunalight deck is. So that's what we're going to be focusing on for the pure Lunalight deck today. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So we'll go ahead and start off with the Lunalight monsters. For the 3-ofs, we're running 3 copies of the new off the ban list recently, Lunalight Tiger. In the Pendulum scale, once per turn, you can target one Lunalight monster in your graveyard, special summon it, but it cannot attack. Its effects are negated and destroyed during the end phase. So you can just use Tiger as more of a resource grab from the graveyard for some of your other Lunalights. And if this card in the field is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target a Lunalight monster in your graveyard and special summon it. You can only use this effect of Tiger once per turn, but it's just a good option to grab resources from the graveyard for you to be able to use with your other ones for your fusions. 3 copies of Lunalight Kaleido Chick. Once per turn, you can send one Lunalight monster from your deck or extra deck to the graveyard. The name of this face-up card on the field is treated as that sent monster, and if this card is used as fusion material, if it's sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can target one polymerization in your graveyard and add it to your hand. You can only use this effect with Kaleido Chick once per turn, and if it's banished, you can activate this effect. This turn, your opponent's card effects cannot be activated during the battle phase, giving you more of a free reign to attack into your opponent's cards with your variety of Lunalight cards. Kaleido Chick just helps for so much setup, whether it be the graveyard setup for some of our other cards, or just overall the recycle power with some of the other cards in the deck as well. And also the 3 copies of Lunalight Black Sheep, just so we can have more search power for a Lunalight monster from our graveyard by discarding this card or adding a polymerization from our deck to our hand. You have search power, whether it be from the graveyard or the deck, for the variety of cards you may need for that setup. And setting up other Lunalight monsters in our graveyard can help for some of our other fusion plays, which we'll get to in just a bit. Those are it for the 3-ofs. For the lower numbers, we're running 2 copies of Lunalight Emerald Bird. If it's normal or special summon, you can send one Lunalight card from your hand to the graveyard to draw one card. And if it's sent to the graveyard by a card effect, which would be your fusion play, you can target one of your level 4 lower Lunalights that is banished during the graveyard, except for Emerald Bird, and special summon it in defense, giving you more resources on the field to continue your fusion plays. Because your Cat Dancer just needs 2 Lunalight monsters, but if you use Cat Dancer to go into Panther Dancer, you need that in the additional Lunalight monster, which Emerald Bird can help to extend into the play. And 2 copies of Lunalight Yellow Marten. If this card is in your hand or graveyard, you can target a Lunalight card you control, except for Yellow Marten, return to the hand. If you do, special summon this card in defense, but banish this card when it leaves the field. And if this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can add 1 Lunalight Spiral Trap from your deck to your hand, giving you search access for cards like Lunalight Fusion to be able to have more additional fusion plays, including using cards from the deck to do so. And also being able just to target a Lunalight card we control means we can also bounce back our Lunalight Tiger for us to be able to reuse again thanks to Yellow Marten, since the pendulum scale effect of your Lunalight Tiger is just a soft once per turn. We also run the 2 copies of Lunalight Wolf. This is the banish option for fusion summoning from your graveyard. You cannot pendulum summon except for Lunalight monsters. This effect cannot be negated, and once per turn, you can fusion summon 1 Lunalight fusion from your extra deck by banishing monsters listed on it from your field or graveyard. So if you've stacked up cards in your graveyard, this card can just be a 1-card combo to use by banishing those cards to go for more fusion plays. And if a Lunalight monster you control attacks defense, you inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent if this card is on the field. For the 1-ofs, we run the, well, before we get to the 1-ofs, we do have one more 2-of count, being White Rabbit for the bounce power with your spell and traps, and then just the overall special summon power of a Lunalight monster in your graveyard using White Rabbit. It could be a 1-card grab, and then if you just go for that play, you're not even locked into anything thanks to it, so you could technically go for a link play as well using those cards. And for the 1-ofs, we run the 1 copy of Lunalight Purple Butterfly, the 1 Crimson Fox, and then the 1 Blue Cat with special summon power from Blue Cat, the Crimson Fox for lowering down your opponent's monster's attack to be able to swing over it with your Lunalight fusions, and then Purple Butterfly being able to give you a attack boost for your Lunalight monster as well. And then the last of the monsters in the main deck, just a small hand trap lineup of Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, just to have for more shutdown power, potentially if we have to go second against our opponent. For the spells, we run 3 copies of Lunalight Fusion. Summon 1 Lunalight Fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as material. If your opponent controls a monster that's special summoned from the extra deck, you can also use a Lunalight monster from your deck or extra deck as fusion material. So this is a way to skip some of the fusions, because then we can use that monster in the extra deck if our opponent controls a monster special summoned from the extra deck to go into the bigger plays by sending that extra deck monster along with any of the Lunalight monsters we may have on the field as well. Also 3 copies of Lunalight Perfume. You can target 1 Lunalight monster in your graveyard, special summon it, and you can banish this card from your graveyard to discard 1 card and add a Lunalight monster from your deck to your hand, searching out some of the one-ofs that we may need or any particular one that we may need for additional plays as well. It has Luna and Light separated, so it doesn't count as an actual Lunalight card to search off some of the other cards, but still a great card because it's also not a once per turn for the special summon or the banish play. Also running the 2 copies of Polymerization, since it's searchable with our Lunalight Black Sheep and then recyclable with our Kaleido Chick. I feel we only need the 2. We have all the other fusion options as well, including Lunalight Fusion and also our Lunalight Wolf. So the 2 of count for Polymerization, with the 2 of for Foolish Burial Goods as well. This is to send our Lunalight Perfume to the graveyard to use its banish play, or our additional Lunalight Trap, which we'll go over in just a bit, with the other spells being 3 copies of Fire Formation Tenki, being another search for the variety of Beast Warrior type monsters that we run in the deck, with the last of the spells being the 1 copy of Kaharu Getsu, which this card special summons a level 4 lower fairy, spellcaster, winged beast, or beast warrior from our hand, and if we do equip it to the card, then you can return all dragon monsters on the field to the hand, and during the end phase of this card's in the graveyard, because it was set there with this card from the spell and trap card zone, while face up, you can add a Polymerization spell from your deck to your hand, giving you another Polymerization search. But it's a fun little deck as well, because bouncing dragon monsters, which are pretty prominent with Bystials and Tempai, so being able to bounce them back to the hand can definitely surprise your opponent when using this one-of spell. For the traps, we run 2 copies of Lunalight Serenade Dance. When a fusion monster is fusion summoned from your field to your field, except during the damage step, target 1 of those monsters, apply this effect in sequence, special summon a Lunalight token, or that card gains 500 attack for each monster your opponent controls, and during your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard to send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard to special summon 1 Lunalight monster from your deck. So this gives you more special summon resource, but depending on what you send to the graveyard with this card, could potentially open you up to more plays, because you could potentially set up Perfume in your graveyard that way also. And then lastly, the 1 Reincarnation Dance. Now, this can be an option as well for special summoning. If you wanted to run an Impermanence engine, you could take out the 1 Serenade Dance and the Kahigetsu and the Reincarnation Dance for a playset copy of Infinite Impermanence in the deck also. For the extra deck, we're running 2 copies of Lunalight Cat Dancer. We run the 2, so you can have the legitimate way to fusion summon 1, or it can be used as a resource with Lunalight Fusion to go into a Panther Dancer. It cannot be destroyed by battle, and then also, with this card, if once for the first time each monster your opponent controls that would battle this card will be destroyed by battle, it is not. You have to tribute a other Lunalight monster to be able to do so. And then also it can attack each monster your opponent controls twice. And if this card declares an attack, inflict 100 damage to your opponent. So you can go for that burn damage, but depending on the monster you use to summon this card, you could lower down your opponent's monster's attack as well and swing into those monsters for the potential game with Cat Dancer alone. The 1 copy of Panther Dancer and the 1 Leo Dancer, with Cat Dancer being unable to be destroyed by battle, Leo Dancer being able to have better protection and being able to make 2 attacks during each damage step. If it attacks, being able to destroy all special summon monsters, and Panther Dancer being able to be undestroyed by card effects as well, and having the same tribute option to make an attack on all of our opponent's monsters, and then also gaining attack during the end until the end of the battle phase each time it destroys an opponent's monster by battle. 3 Saber Dancer for one of the bigger boss monsters needing 3 Lunalight monsters to make it, with it being able to use for the main phase to banish this card from our graveyard, target a fusion monster we control, and it gains 3,000 attack, and it also gains 200 for each Beast Warrior monster that is banished or in the graveyards, and it must be fusion summoned. Your opponent cannot target this card with card effects for added protection as well, with the rest of our fusions being 1 Garura and the 1 Predaplant Dragostapelia, with our Link monsters being the 1 1 IP Masquerena, the 1 SP Little Knight, the 1 Triad Brigade Farragut, 1 Nightmare Cerberus, the 1 Nightmare Unicorn, and also the 1 Access Code Talker to finish off the links with the 1 copy of Underworld Goddess of the Closed World. But as for some of the go-to plays in the deck, the fusion setup being a wide variety of what you can do with this deck. So depending on the monster you summon out, you can go for a wide variety of setup, just needing the Send Power, Kaleido Chick being the opener for a lot of your plays, to then have this card be the name treated as that card as well. So you can have your main go-to combo for your setup be with your Lunalight Tiger and your Kaleido Chick, and both being in 3-ofs, better chances to search them out. If not, we have plenty of search power as well, in the form of cards like Fire Formation Tenki, and then also search power off of cards like Lunalight Fusion as well. So then you can summon out your Kaleido Chick, use the effect of Kaleido Chick to send a Lunalight monster to the graveyard. Then you can summon out your Lunalight Tiger, or set it in the Pendulum Scale, using its effect to special summon that Lunalight monster from your graveyard. It cannot attack, and its effects are negated, but that gives you 2 monsters on the field to use either for a Link Summon resource, or if you have the Fusion play ready to go, a Fusion card can be used with those monsters as well to give you your summon, having the effect of both of Kaleido Chick to then target a polymerization in your graveyard. But if you don't have that, for the effect of your Fusion material with this card, you also have the option for your Emerald Bird to use this card, being able to target one of your banished in your graveyard, except for Emerald Bird, and special summon it. So then you can go for the Fusion play, using your 2 monsters to summon out your Cat Dancer, and then the Emerald Bird can summon back the Kaleido Chick, which will at least give you the tribute to use for your Cat Dancer to then swing into your opponent's monsters. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed. Just wanted to do, like I said, more of a fusion-focused Lunalight deck compared to some of the other ones that have been released that focus more on an Xyz play and kind of ignore the whole fusion lineup. But as always, until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.